Hello, dear students. Welcome to KSG. Myself, Karuna Mishra. And as we know, today we have seen the prelims paper. Prelims paper mein, if I talk about GS, I am the faculty who teaches GS subjects. My core areas are geography, environment, and science and technology. Today, I'll be discussing the questions from environment and ecology and science and technology. If I have to give you a review on how the question paper was, I would definitely say not something that you expect the way the questions have been asked in the recent years. For example, if the students were asking me from environment and ecology, there was a lot of focus which was put on species in the recent years. But this year, you do not find many questions on species. There were no dedicated questions on a particular animal types except for one tarantula that was seen in the Andhra Pradesh. It is one of the threatened species. So the idea is that UPSC being UPSC has again kind of given a googly to the students. A little disappointment because there were a lot of questions which are fact based. Generally, UPSC की एक ऐसी image है that they are known for making more analytical questions, analysis based questions rather than factual information. But this time UPSC has focused so much on factual information. Kind of disheartening for those students who are not into mugging up things and more analyzing. But see, the employer is the employer, and that is how we have to prepare. We need to get into services. Ultimately, that should be the aim. The students who have given the paper do go through the analysis, but do not, hold on to this key and that key and falana dikana. See, you have given your best. Start preparing for mains. Just imagine that the best things will happen for you. Students who are preparing for next year, this is critically important for you in order to understand how UPSC is changing its pattern. So this is for you. These are my 2 cents. Without further ado, let us discuss the question paper that was asked today. Now, this is your question paper from today. This is set D, I think. From the set D, although my questions start from 23, page number 20, question number 23, I'll tell you there are so many questions. If I have classroom students who are watching this, I think you'll remember this. If you remember, we had discussed about the different fruits which Portuguese had brought into India. For example, all these 3 fruits are the gift of Portuguese into India. And jokingly, I used to say that India has a rich fruit platter thanks to the foreigners who came to India, and they brought, apart from this, they also brought tobacco and other, harmful products. But yes, these are the 3 products that they brought into India. Then, if you remember, we used to focus a lot on the resources and how India is dependent on this region. If you remember, I used to talk about the Botswana region. If you remember, I even told you about the elephant culling in the classroom that was regarding this. This is Siberia and Alaska. If you remember, we used to discuss how Russia is very close to USA if you take it from the globe's perspective, and this is basically based on the time zones. Now, these are also the different regions, island, etc. We have done this in the class as well. So I hope you can recall all of these things, which are probably not from science and tech environment, geography. But yes, we have done it in the class. Now, talking about the questions which we have to discuss, that is the science and tech and environment portion. How many of you recall I told you, write it somewhere that you will get the PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. और एक राष्ट्रीय गोकुल मिशन, किस किस को याद है? हम राष्ट्रीय गोकुल मिशन के बारे में आपसे बार बार बोलते थे. That राष्ट्रीय गोकुल मिशन is so important. It is going to be asked. It is reclaiming the indigenous variety of cattle, especially cows, and see, we saw it in the paper. So it's not all bad. It's like so many things were so predictable as well. For example, if you remember from environment, the clean energy, the green energy, that was something that was expected of us, to know. I've been telling you again and again that hydrogen-based fuel, electric vehicles, e-vehicles, clean fuels, these are all topics that are going to remain important for next 2-3 years in the paper, and we have seen this year as well. Now, coming to this, we have question number 23. Question number 23, which talks about the missions which talk about the microgravity research. Now, microgravity research has always been India's or ISRO's primary area of research. ISRO has associated itself with NASA as well for a dedicated mission for studying microgravity. So all these are, according to me, are the correct answers. So the statement C is right for this. that Axiom, SpaceX, and Gaganyaan, all three shall have dedicated microgravity study as well. I'm talking about question number 24. In question number 24, we are talking about the three types of aircrafts and their description. Now, this is somewhere related to Operation Sindoor also that took place. If you remember from the classes, I used to tell you that always prepare science and technology, the defense technology part, as in what shall happen if India is attacked and how will India defend itself. So this is something on those lines. Now, Dornier is correctly matched. It is a maritime patrol aircraft, Germany based. And then you have IL-76. I think this is Russia based. It is definitely not a supersonic combat aircraft. It is also a military transport aircraft. So IL-76 bhi kya hai? Military transport aircraft, and this is also a military transport aircraft. So this is correctly matched. This is correctly matched. This is incorrectly matched. The answer is only 2. Then you have question number 25. If you remember from geography, environment, or any class, I used to ask one question: are artificial rains a way of combating pollution, or this is just a temporary solution? But what are the different methods by which it is silver iodide and potassium, which is generally used as a way of causing the artificial rain? So cloud seeding or artificial rain can be done by silver iodide, potassium iodide, and even dry ice. There could have been another factor also here, that is dry ice, which is also used for causing the artificial rain. Now, the next question that has been allotted to me is question number 44. In the question number 44, which is the GPS, Geo Augmented Navigation System, used as a system for ground stations. ये जो हमने गगन बनाया था, ये हमने एयरपोर्ट अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया और इसरो ने मिलकर बनाया था. एंड इसका जो मेन एम था, दैट वाज टू प्रोवाइड एक्यूरेसी, इंटीग्रिटी एंड फॉर better air traffic management. To be honest, these were the two reasons why we created Gagan, but it will provide benefits only to aviation? No. In fact, this will GPS aided system will also help with the toll collection and also with the road transport now. So, इससे related question means में आया हुआ है, और इन्होंने इसका question prelims में पूछा. They've asked a related question in means as well. So the answer to this is first is correct, second is correct, third is not correct. I think it is D. Option is D. Next question given to me is from question number 81. ये भी था AI एक्शन वाला, ये करंट अफेयर्स में आया होगा आपका, इंडिया ने को शेयर किया था इसको. It's slow. Okay. I think from 81 till 99, you have continuous questions from science and tech and environment. All right. Now, alternative powertrain vehicles. Now, what are these? These are all the vehicles or all the type of automobile vehicles which use anything other than internal combustion engine. So, whether it is full battery EV, yes. Hydrogen fuel cell, yes. Fuel cell electric hybrid, yes. All of these will be part of the alternative powertrain vehicles. How will you remember it? Anything which uses anything other than the internal combustion. The most common type of automobile vehicles have internal combustion engine, but anything other than that will be part of the alternative powertrain vehicles. Then you have UAVs. UAVs, which were in news recent time. If you ask me, the fight that was going on between India and Pakistan was more technological fight rather than the actual military combat, and it kind of told us or kind of exhibited how important technological innovation and upgradation of armed forces is important. So this is something related to that. This question, I would rather say, was an easier one. Why it is an easier one? Because of the extreme language that was used. One is all types of UAVs can do vertical landing. Absolutely not. Not all UAVs can do vertical landing. In fact, these are the latest. All of this hovering and vertical landing. All UAVs can do automated hovering. In fact, these are the latest drones or UAVs. In fact, India has signed a deal with USA, a $4 billion deal, for procuring these UAVs, which have the ability of doing vertical landing as well as automated hovering. So these two are incorrect. All types of UAVs can use battery only as a source. No, in fact, there are drones which can also be fueled by hydrogen in the future. So the answer to this is none of these statements are correct. In the context of e-vehicle batteries, consider the following elements. All right. So, which of these usually make up battery cathode? Cathode is generally made up of the metals or minerals such as lithium, nickel, cobalt, and even iron for that. Graphite is not used here. It is also an odd one out. It is, if you see, it's a non-metal, which is the odd one out as well. It is actually used for the anode part. So the answer is only A. Next, 84. Cigarette butts, eyeglass lenses, card. I think ये pass कराने के लिए ये वाले questions आते हैं. So, which of them contain plastic? All of them. All of these. In fact, car tires are one of the major source of microplastic in the ocean as well. So all these are actually containing a good amount of plastic, especially cigarette butts. They are made up of plastic for the flexibility of it. Then consider the following statements: substances, ethanol, nitroglycerin, यूरिया. अब ये थोड़ा टफ था. Disagree. सबसे पहले कोल गैसिफिकेशन को हम कभी भी we don't study much coal gasification as a way of producing something else. We basically use it as a method of carbon sequestration. So coal gasification is generally considered as something which can be used for carbon sequestration, and this technology can be used for the production of how many? First of all, for urea, yes. For urea and ethanol. Now let me explain quickly how. Coal gasification basically produces syngas or synthetic gas. Syngas basically is carbon monoxide plus hydrogen. This hydrogen is then used for making urea. Apart from this, this carbon monoxide and hydrogen are combined together, not compressed, are combined together and then are used for making ethanol as well. So ethanol and urea are the two products which can be used. Nitroglycerin is not a direct derivative of coal gasification. So this is incorrect, this is correct, this is correct. The answer is only 2. Now coming to question number 86. What is the common characteristics of the chemical substances? A good, tough question, I would say. The answer is, these are the explosives which are used in the military vehicles. It was in news actually in the recent times because of the whole India-Pakistan issue. So this was in news. These are the explosives. These are definitely not fuel material, etc. No. The Majorana chip, which was released by Microsoft. So the answer here, Microsoft, this is incorrect. It is able to do quantum computing. Yes, this is correct. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning. This is directly from the class. Yes. In fact, we had done very deeply about what are the different ways of deep learning and machine learning. So yes, the answer is 1 and 3 here. Now, with reference to monoclonal antibodies often mentioned in news, what are these? First of all, yes, these are man-made or lab-based proteins. These are artificially made proteins. What are antibodies and antigens? Anyways, these are different types of proteins. What is the job of antibodies? To bind themselves with antibodies. What is the main job of antibodies? To bind themselves with the antigens which are harmful or which are the indication of the harmful substance, and then remove them from the body. This is exactly what they do. The monoclonal antibodies are used for boosting your immune system. So they stimulate the immunological function by the ability to bind to specific antigens. And then they are not only used for different viruses, even for cancer treatment, they can be used. All these 3 statements are correct. So for future also, if this type of question comes, always remember these antibodies can be used for treating the cancer as well, apart from the viral issues. Now this, I think, was a very, very smart question that was made. First, again, an easier one. I can't say that 89, question number 89 is a tough one. No virus can survive in the ocean waters. No, obviously viruses can survive. In fact, marine animals are also subjected to viral infection. So no, this is not a correct statement. No virus can infect bacteria. Again, an incorrect statement. In fact, the whole CRISPR technology is based on how the viruses attack bacteria, and bacteria use this way of creating defense mechanism in the body. So this is also incorrect. No virus can change the cellular transcription activity in the host cell. Absolutely incorrect. This is the way how viruses even multiply. So all these three statements are correct. Let us see the language of the question. Are they asking for correct or incorrect? So which of the statements above are correct? None of these statements are correct. So the answer to this is none of them. Now, next question, which is on activated carbon. So question number 90 also, it is also with me. So question number 90 says that activated carbon is good and an attractive tool to remove pollutants from effluent streams and to remediate contaminants from the various industries. एक्टिवेटेड कार्बन बेसिकली बहुत स्मॉल स्केल में कार्बन, बहुत छोटा साइज जो कार्बन का होता है. Activated carbon, in fact, is also used for removing poison from your stomach. Even when there is snake bite or when there is food poisoning, it is actually used for cleansing your gut. So, activated carbon को कैसे याद रखना? Activated carbon is very fine form of carbon in which the surface area actually increases and it kind of binds the impurity and toxic material to itself. So, this is a correct statement. Statement 2, activated carbon exhibits large surface area. Yes. Strong potential of absorbing heavy metals. Yes, this is also a correct statement. Activated carbon can be easily synthesized from environmental waste. Yes. Agricultural waste, sugarcane gases, etc. All of this, they can be used for making activated carbon. Basharte usme content of carbon should be high. It is a good and attractive tool to remain pollutants. So this is also correct statement. This is also correct statement. I think according to me, the answer should be. Coming to question number 91. Now, question number 91 says that the studies indicate that carbon dioxide emission. Now, this is a little trickier one. I have very specific. आप हर इंडस्ट्री में इतने डिटेल में जा नहीं सकते हैं, बट ठीक है. एनसीईआरटी में क्योंकि सीमेंट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग दी गई है, यू कैन नॉट से दैट दिस इज नॉट फ्रॉम एनसीईआरटी. सो दिस इज फ्रॉम द एनवायरमेंट, this is from the NCR. Now, studies indicate that carbon dioxide emissions from cement is more than 5%. Yes, it is somewhere around 5 to 8% of the total anthropogenic emissions. Silica bearing clay is mixed with limestone. Yes, this is true. Limestone is converted into lime. Yes, this is also true. So now, if I go by this, both statement 2 and 3 are correct. Both statement 2 and 3 are correct, but only one of them explains statement 1. I think this is somewhere I would incline. According to me, this should be the answer. So let's see what the official key says. Now, 92. In question number 92, add the 28th UN COP, that is United Nations Climate Change Conference, UN COP28. India refrained from signing the Declaration of Climate and Health. You have to understand, if we remove carbon right now from the health sector, India has an ever-growing population. We are the most populous country. We will not be able to manage the healthcare of our country. So India has not signed it. This statement is correct. India has not signed it, so statement 1 is correct. At COP28 declaration, it is a binding declaration, and if signed, so no, it is not a legally binding. Not legally binding. If India's health sector is decarbonized, the resilience of its healthcare system may be compromised. This is a correct statement. So statement 3 is correct, a kind of an explanation, but statement 2 is not correct. Statement 1 is also correct. So if I go about what should be the answer, only one of these statement 2 and 3 is correct, and that explains statement 1. I think this should be the answer to this question. Now, question number, if we look at question number 93, question number 93, now these are one of those questions जो आपको थोड़े से तंग करेंगे till the official keys are out. I'll tell you why. We look at the question. First of all, scientific study suggests that the shift is taking place in the Earth's rotational axis. ठीक है, ये बात बढ़िया है. There are two statements which are associated with this. First statement says that solar flares and associated coronal mass ejection bombarded the Earth's outermost atmosphere with tremendous amount of energy. This is more of a general statement. This is something which is kind of true all the time. The solar flares, coronal mass ejections, the outer layer of the sun. The sun has multiple layers. There is a core, and then there is radiative zone, and then there is coronal region. Coronal is the outermost region from where the high energy particles are released. So this is something related to that. Even in our science and tech classes, also we discussed in depth about the overall structure of the sun. So yes, this is a general correct statement. Then you have another statement, that is, as the Earth's polar ice melts, the water tends to move towards the equator. Now here the answer जो इसमें गड़बड़ होगा वो ये होगा कि स्टेटमेंट तो दोनों ही सही है. तो सबसे पहले लेट अस both statement 2 and 3 are correct. Both explain the first statement. Okay, we have to see whether that happens or not. Next is both statement 2 and 3 are correct, but only one of them is explaining the statement 1. Only one of the statements 2 and 3 are correct, and that explains the statement 1. Neither. ये तो नहीं है, obviously correct तो है. अब दिक्कत ये है कि when it comes to explaining the question, this kind of seems to be a more closer answer. Reason being, solar flares, coronal mass ejection is something that will always happen. So if something is happening recently, this is basically the effect of global warming, greenhouse effect. So the answer should of this should be B. That is, both statements 2 and 3 are correct, but only one of them explains statement 1. Now coming to question number 94. Then an interesting question. ये question more or less आप अगर थोड़ा भी लेट अस से जनरली आपको आदत है वेबसाइट से पढ़ने की, दिस इज समथिंग आई यूज्ड टू टेल इन ऑल माय क्लासेस. हैव द हैबिट ऑफ रीडिंग फ्रॉम द ओरिजिनल टेक्स्ट. आपको पेरिस एग्रीमेंट पढ़ना है, आप यूएनएफसीसीसी की वेबसाइट से पढ़िए. दैट विल बी अ बेटर प्लेस टू लर्न. So anyways, let us consider this. Statement 1 talks about Article 6 of Paris Agreement, which discusses about the global discussions on sustainable development and climate change. The sub-clauses of this article talk about, this is Article 6, there are sub-clauses in it, which talks about, the principles of carbon markets. In fact, carbon markets are one of the most discussed topics when it comes to the, climate change related talks. Then you have statement 3, which talks about how this article also intends to promote inter-country non-market strategies to reach their climate targets. First of all, none of the statements are incorrect. Let's stick to that first. So both statements 2 and 3 are correct. So either it can be this answer or this answer. No. Both of them explain statement 1. This seems to be the most correct answer. This seems to be the most correct answer. But I would still say इनमें थोड़ा सा डाउट हो सकता है. हालांकि let us go with this answer and this is the correct answer. But यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा डाउट रहेगा when the official keys are out. Now, the next question that we have to see is question number 97. The question number 97, which talks about peacock tarantula. It is actually a type of a spider which has a peacock blue color. And what are the correct statements? First of all, it is an omnivorous crustacean. So now I think it is going to be a debatable question, but I don't think it is an crustacean. It is not a crustacean. Omnivorous word hatai do. These are arachnids. So I don't think this will be a correct statement. Its natural habitat in India is only limited to some forest areas. In fact, in Andhra Pradesh, it was spotted after a long time. So this was the reason why it has been asked. It was in news. So this is true. In its natural habitat, it is an arboreal. Yes, this is also correct. So according to me, the answer should be 2 and 3 are correct statement. Question number 98. Carbon dioxide emissions in India are less than 0.5 ton carbon dioxide per capita. No, it is I think somewhere around 1.7 or 8. In terms of carbon dioxide emissions from fuel combustion, India ranks second after China. Yes. Electricity and heat producers are the largest sources of CO2. Yes. So the answer is 2 and 3. मेरे ख्याल से थोड़ा ज्यादा टेढ़ा मेढ़ा सवाल बनाए हैं. रीजन भी आपको हम बताएंगे किस चीज पर आप अटकेंगे. Is cassava a woody shrub? Yes. Is ginger a herb with pseudostem? Yes, it is a herb. Is Malabar a climber, a herbaceous climber? Yes. Is papaya a woody shrub? No, papaya is a woody herb. ये एक थोड़ा सा डाउट था जिसकी वजह से बच्चे थोड़े से कंफ्यूज हो रहे थे. Obviously, papaya is not a tree. So if it is not a tree, it can be a shrub or a herb. So it is woody, but it is not a woody shrub. It is woody herb. So this is incorrect. What about this? Mint, is it an annual shrub? No, it is not an annual shrub. So since these two are incorrect, the answer is only three are correct. So this should be B. So this was my attempt to help you with the questions which are asked in the prelims. Well then stay tuned. And if you have any issues, do reach out to us. Thank you so much for the list.